The silent preparation. The massive holographic display cast a soft blue glow across Director Sarah Chin's face as she studied the incoming data streams. Deep within Olympus Base, carved into the heart of Mars' tallest mountain, Earth's most closely guarded secret hummed with activity. The year was 2157, though the rest of the galaxy believed humanity was still struggling with basic spaceflight and fossil fuels. "Director, we have confirmation," announced Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, his dark eyes reflecting the urgency of the moment. "The quantum arrays have detected a massive fleet entering the Kuiper Belt. Energy signatures match Zenith Empire configurations." Sarah nodded, her expression remaining calm despite the weight of the moment. For 50 years, humanity had prepared for this day. While the world maintained a careful facade of technological inferiority, underground cities and orbital facilities housed humanity's true achievements. The Prometheus Protocol, as they called it, had transformed Earth into something no alien civilization could imagine. "Time to arrival?" she asked, though the calculations were already running through her neural interface. 72 hours at their current velocity," Marcus replied, bringing up additional data streams. "We're tracking approximately 500 vessels, primarily warships with support craft. They're following the exact invasion pattern we've observed in their conquest of the Proxima and Sirius colonies." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Zenith Empire, proud conquerors of 1,000 worlds, had no idea they were walking into the most elaborate trap in human history. Their standard procedure was simple: overwhelm primitive civilizations with a show of force, demand submission, and integrate them into their empire as servant races. They had never failed, until now. "Status of our defensive grid?" Sarah asked, turning to Admiral James Chen, her brother and commander of Earth's hidden fleet. "All systems nominal," James replied, his cybernetic eye glowing faintly as he accessed the military networks. "The quantum dampening field is maintaining our technological masquerade perfectly. Surface installations continue to broadcast appropriate levels of 21st century emissions. Our deep space platforms remain undetected." The room's holographic display shifted, showing the true extent of humanity's defensive capabilities. Thousands of automated weapon platforms hibernated within seemingly dead asteroids. The dark side of the moon housed massive shipyards and energy collectors. Mars itself was largely hollow, transformed into humanity's primary military installation. "And Project Aegis?" Sarah asked, referring to their most closely guarded weapon. "Ready for deployment," Dr. Helena Patol responded, stepping forward. As chief scientist of the Quantum Physics Division, she had overseen the development of humanity's most advanced technologies. "The quantum displacement field has been successfully tested at full scale. When activated, it will temporarily shift our entire solar system into a parallel phase state. Their weapons will pass through us like ghosts, while ours—" She left the implication hanging. Sarah turned her attention to the diplomatic feeds. Across Earth, carefully orchestrated chaos had begun. Stock markets showed manufactured instability. Military forces moved in seemingly panicked patterns. Social media erupted with conspiracy theories about mysterious objects in the sky. Every reaction was calculated, designed to convince the approaching fleet that they faced a primitive, fractured civilization. "Cultural Analysis Team, report," she commanded. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's hologram materialized. "The Zenith Empire's psychological profile remains consistent with our previous assessments. They are absolutely convinced of their technological superiority. In 3,000 years of expansion, they have never encountered a civilization that successfully resisted their initial show of force. This absolute certainty is their greatest weakness." Sarah walked to the center of the command room, her footsteps echoing against the metallic floor. "Initiate final protocol," she ordered. Throughout the solar system, humanity's true military might began to stir. Quantum computers processed combat scenarios at impossible speeds. Weapon platforms charged their main guns. Ships larger than cities prepared to emerge from their dimensional pockets. "Send the message to all stations," she continued. Operation Thunderstrike is now active. Maintain radio silence except for approved diplomatic channels. Let them come to us, thinking they face primitive prey. They'll learn soon enough what humanity has become. As the Zenith fleet approached, they detected exactly what Earth wanted them to see: primitive satellite networks, basic nuclear capabilities, and scattered military forces. They passed within kilometers of weapon platforms that could reduce their ships to atoms, never detecting them through the quantum dampening field. They're launching their initial scout ships, Marcus reported. Standard pattern. They'll perform a detailed scan of our defensive capabilities before presenting their ultimatum. Sarah watched the scout ships approach, knowing that every moment brought the Zenith Empire closer to its first defeat. Humanity had spent half a century preparing for this moment, advancing their technology in secret while maintaining a perfect facade of primitiveness. The deception had required unprecedented global cooperation, with every nation playing its part in the grand masquerade. "Time to show them why you never underestimate humanity," Sarah said quietly, as the first scout ships entered Earth's orbit, completely unaware of the true nature of their prey. The game was about to begin, and humanity held all the cards. The Zenith Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson about appearances, and about the danger of judging a species by its facade rather than its potential. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in what appeared to be an abandoned research station, Earth's quantum supercomputers continued their analysis of the approaching fleet, compiling weaknesses, tactical patterns, and technological capabilities. Soon, very soon, the accumulated knowledge of 50 years of preparation would be put to use. The hunt was on, but the hunters had no idea they were about to become the hunted. The deception. The Zenith Empire's scout ships gleamed like polished obsidian against Earth's atmosphere, their curved hulls reflecting the morning sun. Inside Olympus Base, Director Sarah Chen watched their approach with calculated patience. The alien scans swept across Earth's surface, probing what they believed to be humanity's pitiful defenses. "They're broadcasting," Marcus announced, his hands dancing across the quantum interface. "Standard frequencies, easily detectable by our primitive equipment." The message began broadcasting across every communication channel on Earth, exactly as predicted. A towering hologram materialized in the command center. High Commander Zexthor of the Zenith Empire, his crystalline exoskeleton gleaming with embedded rank markers. His translated voice boomed with artificial authority. "People of Earth, hear the words of the Zenith Empire. We have observed your civilization and deemed it worthy of elevation. Submit to our guidance, and we shall lift you from your primitive existence. Resist, and we shall demonstrate the futility of defiance." Sarah exchanged knowing glances with Admiral James. The alien's arrogance was almost comical, if it hadn't led to the subjugation of countless worlds before Earth. But humanity had learned from the mistakes of others, studying every conquest in the Empire's history. "Begin Phase 2, Sarah commanded. Across the planet, carefully orchestrated chaos intensified. Military bases scrambled outdated jets in disarray. Politicians made confused, contradictory statements. Social media exploded with panic and conflicting theories about the alien presence. Their sensors are detecting exactly what we want," Helena reported, monitoring the quantum dampening field. "They're seeing our advanced military installations, the dummy bases we constructed using 21st century technology. The nuclear missiles are particularly amusing them." The Zenith fleet continued their approach, spreading out in their standard invasion formation. Their confidence was evident in their casual deployment. They hadn't even raised their shields. Why would they? Earth appeared to be another primitive world, ripe for conquest. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the quantum computers analyzed every detail of the Zenith ships. Their weapon systems, shield frequencies, hull compositions. Everything was cataloged and processed. The data confirmed what humanity had long suspected. The Empire's technology, while advanced, had stagnated centuries ago. They had grown complacent in their superiority. "Director," Marcus called out, We're detecting energy signatures consistent with their transport technology. They're preparing to send delegation pods to major cities. Sarah nodded. This was standard Zenith procedure, a show of force followed by demands for surrender, delivered simultaneously to all major power centers. Activate the reception protocols. Let's give them a proper welcome. Across the globe, carefully selected human representatives prepared to play their roles. In Washington, Beijing, Moscow, and other capitals, they would act appropriately frightened and awed by the aliens' technology. Every reaction had been rehearsed, every response calculated to reinforce the Empire's sense of superiority. The delegation pods descended through Earth's atmosphere, their energy shields flaring dramatically, an intentional display meant to intimidate. They landed in precisely the locations humanity had predicted, based on previous Zenith conquests. In New York's Central Park, a pod touched down before the assembled United Nations representatives. The gathered diplomats, all trained actors in humanity's great deception, gasped appropriately as the pod's doors spiraled open with unnecessary flourish. Ambassador Krulvac emerged, his crystalline form towering over the humans. "People of Earth," he announced, his translation matrix converting his clicks and whistles into English, "I come bearing the Empire's terms of submission." Sarah watched multiple feeds simultaneously through her neural interface, monitoring similar scenes playing out worldwide. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The Zenith Empire was following their conquest protocol exactly as predicted. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of Mars, vast manufacturing complexes hummed with activity. Quantum-powered factories produced weapons and ships that would have seemed like magic to the Zenith Empire. The dark side of the moon's shipyards activated, preparing humanity's true fleet for emergence. "They're scanning our population centers," Helena reported, looking for signs of advanced technology. "The dampening field is feeding them exactly what they expect to see: primitive computer networks, basic satellite communications, and limited energy production." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Empire's scans were passing right through humanity's most advanced technologies, seeing only what they wanted to see. Their quantum sensors, impressive by their standards, were centuries behind what humanity had developed in secret. "Status of Project Aegis?" she asked. "Charging at optimal levels," Helena responded. "The quantum displacement field can be activated at any moment. All deep space platforms are synchronized and ready." The Zenith ambassadors continued their synchronized speeches across the globe, detailing the benefits of submission to their empire. They spoke of technological gifts, of elevation to client race status, of the glory of serving the empire, all while their scans continued, searching for any sign of resistance capability. They found none, because humanity showed them exactly what they wanted to see: a primitive civilization, ripe for conquest, trembling before their superior technology. The greatest deception in human history was working perfectly. "Admiral." Sarah turned to her brother. "Status of the fleet?" "All ships at ready status," James replied, his cybernetic eye glowing as he processed tactical data. "Quantum drives charge, weapon systems primed. We can emerge from dimensional storage on your command." Sarah nodded, watching as the Zenith ambassadors set their artificial deadline for Earth's submission. 24 hours to accept their terms or face destruction. It was always 24 hours. The Empire's psychological warfare was as standardized as their technology. "Let them think they have us cornered," Sarah said quietly. "Let them believe their victory is assured. Tomorrow, they'll learn what humanity is truly capable of." As the day progressed, Earth's carefully manufactured panic reached its crescendo. Emergency sessions of government, riots in major cities, military forces mobilizing in disarray, all carefully choreographed, all designed to convince the Zenith Empire that their psychological warfare was working perfectly. Little did they know that humanity was not their prey. For the first time in their long history of conquest, the Zenith Empire had walked into a trap, and when the trap closed, it would change the galaxy forever. First contact. The 24-hour deadline approached its end. Inside Olympus Base, Director Sarah Chen watched the final minutes tick away on the quantum chronometer. The Zenith Empire's massive fleet hung in high orbit, their weapons charged. A show of force meant to intimidate a primitive world into submission. Final status check, Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the historical weight of the moment. Quantum displacement grid at full power, Helena reported. All nodes synchronized. Deep space platforms showing green across the board, Marcus added. Targeting solutions computed and locked. Admiral James stood at his sister's side, his cybernetic eye processing the tactical overlay. The fleet is ready. All ships report optimal power levels. The Zenith Empire's final ultimatum echoed through Earth's communication channels. High Commander Zexthor's voice dripped with contempt. Your time expires, people of Earth. We see your pitiful attempts at resistance. Your military forces gather, your primitive weapons aim skyward. Submit now or face annihilation. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Send the response. Across the globe, Earth's leaders transmitted their carefully crafted messages. Pleas for mercy mixed with defiant last stands, exactly what the Empire expected from a primitive civilization facing superior force. The Zenith commanders received exactly what they wanted. The appearance of a divided world, some nations ready to submit, others foolishly preparing to resist. They're charging weapons, Marcus announced. Standard pattern. They'll target military installations first, then civilian infrastructure. Tracking multiple target locks, Helena added. They're aiming at our dummy bases and power plants. Sarah nodded, watching the Empire's predictable strategy unfold. Begin Operation Thunderstrike. Phase 1. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Earth's quantum supercomputers executed their commands. The centuries-old deception was about to end. Across the solar system, seemingly dead asteroids suddenly came alive. Weapon platforms emerged from dimensional storage, their quantum drives humming with power. On the dark side of the moon, massive hangar doors opened, revealing humanity's true fleet. What's this? Zexthor's voice carried genuine confusion for the first time. Our sensors detect. His transmission cut off as Earth's quantum dampening field collapsed, revealing the true extent of humanity's military might. Send the message, Sarah commanded. Her voice, transmitted across all frequencies, echoed through the Zenith fleet. Attention Zenith Empire forces. For 50 years we have studied you. We have watched you conquer peaceful worlds with your stagnant technology and predictable tactics. We have prepared. You believe yourselves to be hunters, but today you are the prey. The Zenith fleet's formations broke as ships attempted to reorient toward the suddenly appearing threats. Their sensors, designed to intimidate primitive worlds, were overwhelmed by the quantum signatures of humanity's true technology. They're attempting to raise shields, Marcus reported, almost amused. Their power systems are cycling up to combat status. Too late, Helena stated flatly. Quantum displacement field activating in 3, 2, 1. Reality itself seemed to shiver as Project Aegis activated. The entire solar system shifted slightly out of phase with normal spacetime. The Zenith Empire's weapons, impressive by their standards, would now pass harmlessly through their targets. Launch the fleet, Sarah ordered. From behind the moon, humanity's warships emerged. They made the Zenith vessels look like children's toys in comparison. Each ship was a city unto itself, powered by miniature stars and armed with weapons that bent the fabric of reality. Multiple Zenith vessels attempting to enter hyperspace, Marcus reported. Their drive signatures are powering up. Initiate quantum lock, Sarah commanded. Helena's fingers danced across her interface, and a wave of energy spread out from Earth's defense platforms. The Zenith ship's hyperspace drives whined uselessly. They were trapped in normal space. Attention Zenith vessels, Sarah broadcast. Your conquest ends here. For too long, you have preyed upon developing civilizations, forcing them into servitude through superior firepower and intimidation. That ends today. On the main display, the Zenith fleet appeared frozen in space, caught between fight and flight. Their sensors must be showing them the impossible, a civilization they had dismissed as primitive, wielding technology centuries beyond their own. Your ships are locked in normal space, Sarah continued. Your weapons cannot harm us. You have two choices: immediate surrender, or she let the implication hang in the silence. The Zenith commanders probably expected Earth's weapons to be like their own, just more powerful versions of familiar technology. They were wrong. Humanity had taken different paths, developed technologies the Empire had never imagined. They're charging their main guns, Marcus reported. Looks like they've chosen to fight. Sarah nodded grimly. Show them their mistake. All platforms. Execute contained demonstration. From the nearest defense platform, a beam of pure quantum energy lanced out. It struck a Zenith destroyer, and instead of an explosion, the vessel simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next it had been shifted into a parallel dimension, never to return. Panic spread through the Zenith fleet. Ships broke formation, weapons fired wildly, passing harmlessly through Earth's phase-shifted defenders. Their tactical doctrine, unchanged for centuries, had no protocols for this situation. High Commander Zexthor is hailing us, Marcus announced. Put him through, Sarah commanded. The alien commander's hologram appeared, his crystalline exoskeleton no longer gleaming with confidence. What are you? Zexthor demanded, his translator barely keeping up with his agitated clicks and whistles. We are humanity, Sarah replied simply. And we are no one's prey. Surrender your fleet, or we will remove it from this universe, piece by piece. The silence that followed was profound. For the first time in their history of conquest, the Zenith Empire faced a force they couldn't hope to overcome. Their perfect record of victories was about to end, not with a glorious battle, but with the realization that they had severely underestimated their intended victims. The galaxy was about to change forever, and humanity would lead that change. The hidden hand. High Commander Zexthor's crystalline form trembled slightly as he stood before the United Earth Council in Olympus Base. Gone was the imperious conqueror who had demanded Earth's submission. In his place stood a broken leader, watching his empire's carefully constructed mythology of invincibility crumble. The Zenith Empire surrenders unconditionally, he announced, his translator struggling to maintain composure. We request terms. Director Sarah Chen studied the alien commander thoughtfully. Around the council chamber, representatives from Earth's true government watched in silence. This wasn't the public-facing puppet show of the United Nations, but humanity's actual leadership, the ones who had orchestrated 50 years of deception. Terms are simple, Sarah replied. Your fleet will stand down. Your empire will immediately cease all conquest operations, and you will help us liberate the worlds you've subjugated. The quantum displays showed the Zenith fleet hanging motionless in space, surrounded by humanity's vastly superior forces. Several vessels had attempted to flee, only to find themselves trapped by quantum lock technology that the Empire's scientists couldn't even begin to comprehend. You don't understand, Zexthor clicked frantically. The Empire, it spans thousands of worlds. The economic system, the power structure, it all depends on expansion, on new worlds to fuel our growth. Your empire's internal problems are not our concern, Admiral James stated coldly. But your practice of preying on developing civilizations ends today. Helena's hologram materialized beside Sarah. Director, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from several Zenith vessels. They appear to be attempting to transmit something through quantum subspace. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Trying to call for reinforcements, Commander. Zexthor's crystalline structure flashed with patterns that the translation matrix identified as panic. You don't understand. The High Council, they'll glass this entire system rather than accept defeat. Quantum surge detected, Marcus announced suddenly. multiple hyperspace windows opening at the system's edge. The main display shifted, showing hundreds of new contacts emerging from hyperspace. These weren't the standard Zenith warships. They were something else entirely. Massive dreadnoughts, their hulls covered in weapons that made their previous fleet look like toys. The Eternal Fleet, Zexthor whispered. The Council sent them. They'll destroy everything. Sarah remained calm, even as the new fleet approached. You still don't understand, Commander. We knew about your hidden fleet. We've known about everything. Every backup plan, every secret weapon, every contingency. Why do you think we let your initial fleet get so close? She turned to Helena. Activate the quantum nets. Across the solar system, carefully hidden quantum technology came to life. The approaching dreadnoughts suddenly found themselves caught in an invisible web of space-time itself. Their engines strained against the quantum lock, but they might as well have been insects struggling against steel cables. Your Empire's greatest weakness, Sarah continued, is your absolute certainty in your own superiority. You never considered that while you watched us, we were watching you. Every ship you built, every weapon you developed. We studied them all. And we developed countermeasures for everything. The quantum displays showed the Eternal Fleet's weapons powering up, planet-killer weapons that could reduce worlds to ash. They fired, and their energy beams passed harmlessly through phase-shifted space, dissipating into nothing. Impossible, Zexthor breathed. Those weapons, they've destroyed star systems. Primitive weapons, Helena commented, studying the energy readings. Brute force approaches to problems we solved centuries ago. While you focused on building bigger guns, we learned to manipulate the fabric of reality itself. Sarah stood, her presence commanding attention despite her human size compared to the crystalline alien. Now, Commander, let's discuss the real terms of surrender. Your Empire isn't just going to stop its conquests. It's going to help us free every world you've enslaved. And then we're going to help those worlds rebuild. The quantum displays shifted again, showing data streams that made Zexthor's translator stutter in confusion. Plans within plans. Humanity hadn't just prepared for this confrontation. They had prepared for everything that would come after. We've spent 50 years planning not just for this battle, Sarah explained, but for the reconstruction that would follow. We've studied every world in your empire, understood their needs, their cultures, their potential. We're not conquerors like you. We're going to do what you should have done. Help these civilizations grow on their own terms. Marcus's hologram appeared, showing new data. The Eternal Fleet's quantum cores are beginning to destabilize. They've never encountered this level of space-time manipulation. Their ships are essentially dead in space. Sarah nodded. You see, Commander, today isn't just about stopping your empire's expansion. It's about fundamentally changing how civilizations interact in this galaxy. The era of conquest is over. The era of cooperation is about to begin. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just defeated the Zenith Empire. They had outmaneuvered them so completely that recovery of their old power would be impossible. What will happen to us? Zexthor asked, his previously commanding voice now barely a whisper. That depends on you, Sarah replied. Your empire has knowledge, resources, infrastructure that could benefit many worlds, if used properly. Help us transform your empire of conquest into a federation of equals, and you'll have a place in the new order. Resist. She gestured to the displays showing the helpless Eternal Fleet. As if to emphasize her point, one of the dreadnoughts attempted to fire its main gun again. The energy beam twisted in impossible ways, caught in the quantum net, before dissipating harmlessly into subspace. The choice, Sarah concluded, is yours. But choose quickly. There are thousands of worlds waiting for freedom, and humanity's patience is not infinite. The galaxy was changing, and the Zenith Empire faced a choice. Adapt or fade into history. Either way, humanity's hidden hand would guide the transformation. ensuring that no empire would ever again prey upon developing civilizations. The age of conquest was over. The age of humanity had begun. Thunderstrike. 1 month after the surrender of the Zenith Empire, the galaxy was transforming at a pace that surprised even humanity's careful planners. Director Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of the quantum cruiser Thunderchild, watching as another Liberation fleet prepared to depart Earth's solar system. Status report. She commanded, her neural interface connecting her to the ship's quantum network. Liberation fleets have reached 27 formerly subjugated worlds. Marcus responded, his hologram materializing beside her. Reaction from local populations has been explosive. The Zenith Empire's control infrastructure is collapsing faster than predicted. The massive display showed dozens of tactical overlays, human ships systematically dismantling the Empire's power structure across hundreds of light years. But this wasn't a military conquest. Each fleet carried scientists, diplomats, and aid workers alongside its warships. The Proxima colony is particularly interesting, Helena added, her own hologram joining them. Once we removed the Empire's suppression technology, we discovered they'd actually achieved quantum consciousness integration centuries ago. They were forced to hide their true capabilities, just as we did. Sarah nodded thoughtfully. How many more advanced civilizations did the Empire unknowingly suppress? How much potential has been hidden away, waiting for this moment? The answer was becoming clear as more worlds were freed. The Zenith Empire's greatest crime hadn't just been conquest, it had been the suppression of countless civilizations' natural development. Some, like humanity, had hidden their advances. Others had their progress deliberately stunted by Imperial policy. New contact, Admiral James announced suddenly. Deep space sensors detecting a massive fleet approaching from the galactic core. Energy signatures. Unknown. Sarah's neural interface flooded with data. The approaching ships were like nothing humanity had encountered, not even in their decades of secret observation. They moved in ways that suggested technology parallel to, perhaps even beyond, Earth's capabilities. They're broadcasting, Marcus reported. Multiple frequencies, quantum encrypted. Wait, they're using our encryption protocols. How is that possible? A new hologram materialized in the command center, a being of pure energy, its form barely contained within a crystalline matrix. When it spoke, its words bypassed the translation systems entirely, appearing directly in their minds. Children of Earth, the entity communicated. We have watched. We have waited. You have proven yourselves worthy. Sarah's diplomatic training kicked in. Identify yourself. We are the architects, the energy being responded. We seeded this galaxy with life when your star was young. We have watched civilizations rise and fall, waiting for one to break the cycle of conquest and domination. The quantum displays showed more of their ships appearing, vessels that seemed to defy the basic laws of physics. They moved through space like fish through water, reality rippling around them. The Zenith Empire, the architect continued, was our greatest failure. We gave them knowledge too soon, before they had the wisdom to use it. They devolved into conquerors, forcing us to withdraw and wait for another species to challenge them. And you chose humanity? Sarah asked, though she was beginning to understand. We did not choose you. You chose yourselves. When you first detected the Empire's approach, you had two paths: reveal your power and fight, or hide and prepare. You chose a third path, to prepare not just for victory, but for the peace that would follow. Helena's hologram flickered with excitement. The quantum technology we developed, you were guiding us. We left breadcrumbs, the architect acknowledged. Subtle suggestions in quantum fields, patterns in subspace that your scientists would eventually detect. But the applications, the innovations, those were purely human. You took our hints and developed technologies, even we had not considered. Admiral James stepped forward. Why reveal yourselves now? Because the real work is about to begin, the entity responded. The galaxy is entering a new age. The Zenith Empire's fall has created a power vacuum. Without guidance, chaos will follow. We offer our partnership, not as rulers or conquerors, but as teachers and advisors. Sarah studied the energy being thoughtfully. And if we refuse, then we will withdraw and watch as we have always done. The choice, as it has always been, is yours. The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had proven itself not just through military victory, but through their approach to aftermath. Their careful planning, their emphasis on rehabilitation over revenge, their dedication to preserving knowledge while dismantling systems of oppression. All of it had been a test. Director, Marcus interrupted the moment. We're receiving transmissions from multiple liberated worlds. They've detected the Architect's fleet. They're celebrating. The quantum displays showed scenes from dozens of worlds, species that had preserved ancient legends of the Architects, civilizations that had maintained secret hope of their return. The galaxy wasn't just changing, it was awakening. Sarah straightened, her decision made. We accept your partnership with conditions. Earth maintains its independence. All liberated worlds must be free to choose their own paths, and your knowledge must be shared equally, not doled out as rewards or used as leverage. The Architect's form pulsed with what seemed like approval. Your conditions mirror our intentions. The age of secrets and suppression is ending. Together, we will help this galaxy heal and grow. As if to emphasize the point, the Architect's ships began to move into formation alongside Earth's liberation fleets. Ancient technology and human innovation, preparing to work together to reshape the galaxy. The hunt was truly over. The age of conquest had ended, and humanity, the hidden hunters who had brought down an empire, would help lead the galaxy into a new dawn. New dawn. 1 year after the fall of the Zenith Empire, Director Sarah Chen stood before the first galactic concordat on a world that had once been the heart of Imperial power. The crystalline spires of the former Imperial Palace now house representatives from over 1,000 liberated worlds. Beings of all forms, energy, matter, silicon, quantum consciousness, gathered in a display of diversity the Empire had spent millennia trying to suppress. The last Imperial holdouts surrendered this morning. Admiral James reported, his cybernetic eye processing the quantum feeds from distant battle groups. The reformation is complete. Sarah nodded, watching as former enemies sat together, planning their shared future. Former Zenith commanders worked alongside the worlds they had once oppressed, their crystalline forms dimmed with humility. The Architects drifted through the assembly like luminous clouds, sharing knowledge but never imposing their will. Remarkable. Helena observed through her quantum projection. Initial estimates suggested this level of integration would take decades. Instead, it's happened in months. Because we gave them something the Empire never did. Sarah replied, choice. Real freedom to determine their own path forward. The Grand Chamber hummed with activity as quantum computers processed the needs and capabilities of thousands of worlds. Trade routes were being reestablished, not for imperial profit, but for mutual benefit. Knowledge suppressed for centuries flowed freely between civilizations. Director, Marcus called, his hologram materializing. The Proxima delegation has made an interesting discovery. Their quantum consciousness technology, combined with our phase shift innovations, they believe they can create stable corridors between galaxies. Sarah raised an eyebrow. Already looking beyond our galaxy. Not yet. A familiar energy pattern interrupted. The Architect representative, whom they had come to know as First Light, shimmered into view. First, we must ensure this galaxy's wounds are truly healed. The quantum displays showed the ongoing work across thousands of worlds. Earth's liberation fleets had transformed into reconstruction forces. The same technology that had hidden humanity's progress now helped rebuild civilizations shattered by imperial rule. Speaking of healing, Helena interjected, the genetic restoration project on Centauri Prime has succeeded. Species believed extinct for millennia are being restored from preserved DNA. The Empire's practice of destroying unnecessary biological diversity is being reversed. Sarah walked to the center of the chamber, where a massive quantum projection showed the galaxy in real time. Points of light represented civilizations reawakening, sharing their hidden knowledge, contributing to the greatest renaissance in known history. "We've received a fascinating proposal," Marcus reported. "The silicon-based consciousness collected from the Orion Arm has offered to help establish a galactic quantum network, instant communication and knowledge sharing between all worlds. With safeguards," James added quickly. "No central control, no way for any one civilization to dominate the network. They've learned from the Empire's mistakes." First Light's energy pattern pulsed with approval. "You understand now why we waited so long. Why it had to be humanity that broke the cycle." Sarah nodded slowly. "Because we didn't just plan for victory. We planned for peace. More than that," the architect corrected. "You recognize that true strength lies not in domination, but in cooperation. When you found our quantum technology breadcrumbs, you didn't use them to build weapons first. You built tools, defenses, ways to protect and preserve." The chamber's attention turned to the central platform as Sarah prepared to address the Concordat. Representatives from thousands of worlds fell silent, their various forms of consciousness focused on the human who had helped orchestrate their liberation. "1 year ago," Sarah began, her words translated instantly into hundreds of languages and forms of consciousness, "we revealed ourselves to the galaxy. Not as conquerors, not as saviors, but as equals. We showed that it was possible to advance without domination, to grow strong without crushing others." She gestured to the quantum display showing the transformed galaxy. "Look around you. Every civilization here had hidden strengths, suppressed knowledge, untapped potential. The Empire's greatest crime wasn't their conquest, it was their suppression of possibility." The quantum network hummed with agreement, consciousness of all forms resonating with her words. "Today, we formalize what we have already begun. The Galactic Concordat isn't just an alliance. It's a promise. A promise that never again will any civilization be forced to hide its potential. Never again will progress be suppressed in the name of control." From the assembled representatives came a sound that transcended physical limitations, a harmony of agreement from beings of energy, matter, and consciousness itself. "The hunt is over," Sarah concluded. "The time of predator and prey has passed. Now we build something new. Together." As she finished speaking, the quantum network lit up with signals from across the galaxy. New civilizations, hidden even from Earth's careful observation, were emerging. Inspired by the changes they had witnessed, they were ready to join the grand experiment. The architects' ships pulsed with approval, their ancient technology harmonizing with human innovation. The former Zenith commanders stood straighter, finding new purpose in reconstruction. Representatives from 1,000 worlds began sharing plans, dreams, possibilities that had been hidden for millennia. This was humanity's greatest victory, not the defeat of an empire, but the birth of something entirely new. A galaxy where strength came from cooperation, where advancement served all, where the only hunters were those who sought knowledge and understanding. The dawn of a new age had truly begun, and humanity had helped light the way.